The feud between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk has escalated dramatically, transforming from a strategic alliance into a bitter public conflict with significant political and economic ramifications. The rift began in May 2025 when Musk publicly criticized Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, a tax and spending initiative project projected to add $2.4 trillion to the national debt over a decade. Musk's departure from Doge followed, and tensions intensified with mutual accusations and threats. Musk accused Trump of potential ties to Jeffrey Epstein and endorsed calls for his impeachment. Trump retaliated by threatening to withdraw federal support for Musk's companies and publicly disparaging him. The feud has had tangible financial consequences, with Tesla's market value dropping by $152 billion and Musk's net worth decreasing by $33 billion. Musk's opposition to the bill has complicated its passage in the Senate, causing divisions within the Republican Party and prompting some members to reconsider their support. On this episode of The Richard Syrett Show, the billionaire blow-up. Can Trump and Musk reboot the bromance? He's been called the most disruptive force in modern business, a man who builds rockets for breakfast and bends billion-dollar industries to his will by lunch. Elon Musk is the richest man on earth, a tech titan, a digital provocateur, and, until very recently, Donald Trump's most influential outside ally. But now, it's war. What happened? Why did Musk break ranks? Is this the final split or just another episode in a long-running power bromance between the world's most powerful populist and the world's most powerful entrepreneur? To help us decode the fallout and maybe predict what's next, I'm joined by someone who has studied Musk's mind up close, award-winning journalist, former CNBC and Fox Business anchor, and author of The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk, Dennis Kneale. In his new book, Dennis presents Musk not as a mere CEO, but as a visionary warrior, a man who teases his critics, tortures his enemies, and builds empires from the bones of broken paradigms. So, what happens when that man turns his fire on Donald J. Trump? Will they bury the hatchet or bury each other? Dennis Kneale, welcome to the Richard Syrett Show. How are you?
That was eloquent. I mean, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that. And we'll be right back with more of Richard right after this. I mean, come on, man. I can't match that. That was downright lovely. That was beautiful. I admire fine writing. I even more admire the ability to read it so well. So thanks for so much for having me on your pod, Richard. It's great to see you. And do we live in interesting times or what?
I'll say.
I'm stunned. I'm shocked by all that has happened. And, the media have been dying for this to happen. They've been like, kept prodding and making it happen. And in the end, it was nothing to set it off. It was Elon Musk's own fault. He is right on the facts, he is right on the stats, he is wrong in style. And my entire career in journalism, Richard, I paid a price because in terrible arguments, I would scream and yell. I was right on the point. I was right on the facts of the matter. But now that I've yelled and I've hurt people's feelings, I lost the argument. And so has Elon at this point.
So is this feud then about a couple of alpha personalities butting heads, or is there a deeper ideological rift that makes reconciliation
So,
impossible?
right. And the answer to those two options is yes. Okay, yes, it is about these two incredible ego on their sleeve, lions in the jungle, testosterone. I'm so happy President Trump at his age still has such a clear supply and felt the need to smack his little pup down as he did. It is that, but it's the other thing too. And here's the thing I was thinking about. Elon sometimes goes into this demon mode, and Walter Isaacson, the world's best biographer, talked about it in his 688-page tome that was too big to read, Elon Musk, and he knows about that demon mode, and he just fills with hate and anger and blindly lashes out before he even knows what's happening. And on social media, unfortunately, if you're not Elon Musk, that can cost you your career. But why the blindly lashing out and eventually really going overboard? And Richard, isn't it coming out of pain and hurt? Elon feels so disappointed with his experience in Washington. He feels, kind of banished and thrown out. He got 175 billion, way below the 1 trillion in annual spending that he wanted to cut. And they may yet get there with the systems he put into place, but he's feeling so bad. And then you Republican sons of bitches come along and pass a bill that conservatively could increase, I think you said 2.8 trillion over 10 years, the debt, when he's trying to cut the debt. What are you doing, guys? And he looks at it purely from his own, oh, but all my work. He did risk his life.
Hmm.
He did go death threats. He did have his personal wealth go down by 100 billion at one point, more than that. And my stake in Tesla stock. Okay. And then to have this, what a slap in the face to have Republicans refuse to put his cuts into law. I didn't realize, did you, that those cuts don't count and they don't recur forever until they are actually adopted in law by Congress. And Republicans and Democrats are feeding at the same trough. And I think he was just kind of, oh my God, I can't even believe they would do this. And so then he felt dissed. And what happens is you're taking it personally now. It's not just policy. How dare you do this to me? And then you add to that the NASA guy, he wanted to run NASA. He got pushed aside. Now, the cover story is, well, he had donated to Democrats. You know what? If the best, most important space cadet in the world says this guy would make a good NASA administrator, he would make a good NASA administrator, right? But it was Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, had a big fight with Elon, called him a
Hmm.
fraud because he hadn't cut as much, which I really dislike Bessent for doing. He's a wonderful Treasury Secretary, but
Hmm.
shame on him for doing that. And he wanted to kind of just hurt Elon. So it's all this little infighting. And Elon, he has no time for this, does he? He's trying to save the world, man.
He has paid a big price. Donald Trump almost paid the ultimate price. So, I mean, they should be, and I think for the most part they are kindred spirits. Is it? It sounds like though it's just Elon Musk doesn't understand Washington. The legislative process is, I mean, it's dirty. It's
Yeah.
it's a it's the old saying. It's like you don't want to see a law being made. You don't want to see sausages being made. Is that the
Right.
problem? I mean, if that is the case, it seems like that's something you can patch up.
It's no, it's, you know what? I like that idea. It's just that no, he's betrayed by the fact that why are you guys spending so much? I don't care how the sausage making works. I don't care. Well, you don't understand. No, no, you're
Mm.
spending too damn much. We were spending 5 trillion a year and bringing in 4 trillion up to 2019. In came COVID. Our federal spending rocketed to 7 trillion. We're now only bringing in like 5 trillion. So that's a $2 trillion overspend every year. That's the deficit, right? But my God, we're still spending 7 trillion when COVID turned into a cold long ago. Why did it never go down? And it's because government spending, once it begins, never goes down. It never stops. It only grows. And that's what he was trying to stop. And that's why even 175 billion a year, 1.75 trillion over 10 years, that is a start, man. I haven't seen anybody else ever do that. Have you?
No, never, never. It's always it's always going up, 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 never down.
Yeah.
Even Ronald Reagan couldn't get that done. So, I mean, this seems to be though the kind of friction that Donald Trump thrives on.
Yeah.
Provided there is kind of an eventual path to dominance.
Yes. Yes. And Trump, he has been quite restrained overall. He didn't resort to name calling. He called a CNN correspondent, Dana Bash, who's odious enough. I don't know why he called her, but he called her on the phone today, Friday, to say, "Oh no, I'm not even thinking about Elon. You know what? There's something wrong. There's a problem there with him." Now, there's a very interesting thing. Trump usually attacks. He
Mhm.
feels so offended when you attack him. And what I learned in training, I took mind control training. I learned that I always got way upset when anyone came at me because I'm taking it personally. And if instead I think about their perspective and how they must be feeling and how they must be looking, I end up feeling bad for him, thinking, oh, you poor guy, he's just kind of troubled. That's why he came at me. I'm no longer as injured and upset and offended. This is exactly the way Trump is responding to Elon's betrayal. He's not torching the entire village. He's just saying, look, the guy's got a problem. I think Trump is a little. startled that Elon could turn so nihilistic, so destructive, so suddenly out of nowhere. I mean, and here the Sunday New York Times a week ago or two talked about, oh my gosh, he's on ketamine while he's doing the Doge cuts. Man, where was the ketamine when we needed it? On ketamine, you can't even get off the sofa. But instead, he spewed such venom. But here's the weird thing. Then he comes up with this Epstein line that was so wrong, unfair,
Hmm.
out of line, and just inaccurate. I
Yeah.
mean, if Trump were in any way connected to this Epstein stuff, man, we would have seen that 5 years ago, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a silly thing. But that's suddenly when I thought, are you and Donald working a bit here? Is this
Yes.
world wrestling entertainment? Because they're doing this at a time when, meanwhile, Trump has just announced travel bans on a whole bunch of third world countries. The first time he did it in his first term, oh my God, we had, protests across the land, lawsuits, everyone saying, my God, people crying, AOC, everything. Where are the protests? Where are the protesters?
Everyone's
They're
focused
all
on
sitting
Epstein.
there eating popcorn, watching this fight between Elon and Trump. And Trump keeps giving these distractions, and everyone chases their tail about that distraction. Oh, the $400 million jet from Qatar. Is it a conflict of interest? But who cares? Meanwhile, he's passing policy and he's getting things done like crazy. Maybe this is part of the distraction.
Yeah, what his biggest fans in MAGA world like to call this is Trump playing 4D chess again. But it's true. I mean, everyone now is focused, yes, on the feud, but they're also focused on the Epstein files again. And now there's some
Yes.
speculation that Trump is going to, once again, we've been promised this before, but release all of the Epstein files totally unredacted, to show the world, of course,
Right.
what we already know.
And,
He has nothing to
and
do with
now
it.
Now, think about this, because I read, and X, sometimes, don't you think X has just incredibly smart speculation?
Hmm.
Sometimes from really well-informed sources and experts in narrow fields, other times just from some Yahoo with a few hundred, and yet it's folk wisdom. And
Hmm.
and and someone said, the thing is, Trump now is being forced, quote unquote, into releasing the Epstein files. The Democrats hoping there is something there. There won't be. But then, boom, 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 Clinton, Bill Gates, it ends up coming out, and poor Trump says, "Hey, I'm sorry, you wanted me to release them, so I really felt like I had to." I mean, that is 4D chess. That would be. It's just that this never should have happened, and Elon blew that, even though he's right on the facts,
Yeah. Yeah.
wrong on style. And also, let's remember something, dude. You might be the richest man in the world, but that's the most powerful man in the world, President Trump, running the greatest country in the world, a country that you love, and a country that you, Elon Musk, never want to hurt. So don't be threatening decommissioning the space vessel. I forget what the heck it's called that makes it all the way to the International Space Station. The only vehicle NASA has since the one Boeing built failed on the very first flight and stranded them up there for months. I mean, don't even threaten to decommission that, but also, Trump, don't you threaten to cancel a bunch of contracts when SpaceX has 80% of the launches in the world. And if you want anything going on in space, if you want spy satellites up there, you got to do business with SpaceX. So stop with that idle threat. Both guys kind of lost it, but Elon lost it far more and made it far more ad hominem and personal. And that's just too much vitriol and hate from a guy who should be loving the world. And he does love the world. And I hope he'll just apologize. He's trying to. He put up an angel emoji on X today. All right. And he also responded to one guy. This kills me. Understand, I've been courting Elon Musk. I write to his private email address. I've had one no from him, an actual no, where you're thinking, so he knows I'm alive, and so Elon yesterday responds to a little account with 17 followers who said, "Hey, you guys ought to stop arguing and get along." And he wrote back and said, "Yeah, yeah, that's true, that's right." Oh my gosh, why couldn't I be that little guy?
Some have suggested that we're watching a. I say some. I mean, I've seen on X people suggesting this is a deeper struggle over who sets the agenda: the populist president or the tech futurist. Your thoughts?
Well, indeed, the tech guys made huge inroads from the conservative side. Tech has always had an open door policy with the White House. Obama hired hundreds of Google people, Face people. They go back and forth. The Twitter files exposed that these were a bunch of, there must have been 100 different former FBI agents or something inside Twitter running the censorship operation. Okay. But for a change, we had conservative billionaires like David Sachs, now the crypto czar, kind of get Trump's ear. And fascinated with wealth creation. Okay. I mean, Trump's worth, maybe 4 billion, 5 billion, but Elon is worth close to 100 times that or 50 times that. And Trump values money and respects money. And he respects Elon, even though he now thinks this guy's like a crazy wild artist. I mean, having Elon Musk as a friend this close for Trump must have been like having some super hot girlfriend. It's so fun at first when you take her out and you have these wonderful highs, but then on a bad day, you're home alone with her. Before you know it, she's suddenly like keying your car and setting fire to your kitchen. And you're thinking, oh my God, where did this come from? And, he's a little crazy, Elon is. And yet, maybe brilliance and genius requires crazy.
True, true. Does Trump need Musk more than Musk needs Trump?
Damn, that is such a good question. I wish I had asked it of you. Does Trump need Musk more or does Musk need Trump? You know what? It's such a close call. It's such a toss-up, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they both need each other. And that's why, baby, I'm predicting they will make up within 1 week. They will reach out. There's olive branches happening. There are two handlers. There's teams of handlers that are like looking at each other saying, what the fluff? What happened? Oh my God. We got to fix this. And it will be fixed because they both need each other. Yes, President Trump can do so much more with Musk's help. Yes, Elon Musk needs for this president to be an ally rather than an enemy. He already had that with Biden. Do you know that government had more than 20 separate investigations of Elon Musk and his companies? Just awful. One guy in France complained that, oh, they asked me whether I was a refugee or something. And the government went after them and demanded millions of pages from SpaceX. Out of 1 million applications, one guy complained, and the government came down and cracked down so hard. Just awful what was going on. Elon can't have a president like that. He needs Trump too, especially if he wants to get to Mars.
Excellent points. Dennis, how do we get a copy of The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk?
You can go to Amazon and Books A Million and Barnes and Noble. I'd like to say you could go to your corner bookstore, but I think they're afraid of stocking it in the windows lest they get damaged by the Trump haters. Although who knows now that he's fighting with Trump, that the Trump haters who hated Elon will start liking Elon again. Did you see he was praised by Eric Swalwell, the Fong Fong banger? Anyway, yeah, you can find it online. And you know what? Please, even if you don't read it, put up a great review because the Elon haters are killing me on Amazon, baby. Okay, put up a good review for me.
Dennis, what a real pleasure to meet you and speak with you. Thanks. I hope we can do this again.
I would love it. Thank you so much for your time. Have a glorious weekend, sir.
Dennis Kneale. Hey, this is Richard Serrett. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.